He is also warming up on the far side, so we're still not sure who it will be, but Cincinnati will get the ball first. Del Greco. Low kicks today. And down at the 25. Tim McGee, the returner for Cincinnati, and that's where the Bengals will start. 15-yard return for McGee. And at the 25-yard line, Reggie, your keys to winning.
We talked about Cincinnati, in order to win, has to play error-free football, a plus turnover ratio. They're doing that, and defensively keep Lofton and Epps under control, no quick strikes. They're doing that, so they are well on their way to accomplishing their objectives, as I saw it.
Bill Johnson starts at fullback again as the Bengals begin at their 25, out to the 30, perhaps a pickup of 5 for Johnson. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WLUK 11, Green Bay.
John Dorsey.
So back at County Stadium, opening seconds of the third quarter. Glenn Berman with Reggie Rucker. This will be a 2nd and 5 for Cincinnati at their 30. Packers desperately need some defense as well as some offense. Brooks heads to the outside, eludes the tackle, cuts back up for a first down and out of bounds at the 40. John L. Sullivan finally ran him out. Man who had a shot at him but missed was Alfonso Carricker.
Carricker almost makes a great play, 6-7 yards deep into the backfield. He misses. What do you have? Well, a first down run by James Brooks, who scooted away on the outside after an outstanding block by number 74, Brian Blados. I'll tell you, this Brian Blados is a player to watch. They said that Blados' turn is coming this year for big-time recognition, and it quite possibly is turning out to be true for Blados, number 74.
First down for Cincinnati at their 41. Bill Johnson. And no gain. Hit hard on the play. Randy Scott, the man, 6-year vet from Alabama. So Cincinnati wants to establish it on the ground with the big lead and eat up some time, but no gain on that play, so that'll be 2nd and 10 now for Cincinnati from their 41. Tim McGee comes into the huddle, replaces Eddie Brown. McGee gives the play to Esiason. You don't have to signal in the plays when you're using the 3 wide receivers, so you run the shuttle system.
And when you don't have a drop-off in talent like they don't have when McGee replaces Eddie Brown.
Good time for Esiason. McGee complete. Tries to move for a first down, maybe a bit shy near midfield. Depends where they mark it. Pickup of close to 10. Appears just to be a bit shy of the first down.
Tim McGee looks to be a very confident wide receiver to me. You can tell how confident he is. He caught that ball very skillfully with his hands, turned it up, and knew where the first down marker was as he almost got it. Didn't get it by a matter of inches, but he looks to be a very confident and productive player for the Cincinnati organization.
3rd and inches. So they put the linebacker, Kiki Diayala, in the backfield. Ball just across midfield into Packer territory. Esiason dives himself for the first down. Not risking a handoff.
The keeper.
He'll mark it, well, perhaps the 48, which would be good enough for a first down.
Number 76, left side top of the screen is Carricker. He's being blocked by Brian Blados, and you can see how Blados has just moved him back off of the football. There's number 74, Blados, a 300-pounder. Good player.
First down at the 48 of Green Bay. Esiason was hit after he delivered the ball incomplete, but the only sack that the Packers have been able to deliver of Esiason was negated by a holding penalty. They almost got him there.
Too much time here on the decision-making process by Esiason. The Packer cornerbacks are very deep. They're trying to go deep, but they can't get beyond the Packer cornerbacks. Go ahead and take something short. Fortunately, that time, Esiason just got rid of the football.
Ryan Noble thought he had his first sack of the year there. It didn't happen. The Packers only have 2 sacks on the year. 2nd down and 10 at the 48. Here they come again. Esiason waving to his wide receiver. Johnson. So the Packers started to back off. That was a strange pass rush. They had him in the open field, and a couple of defenders backed away from him. Look at that. Look at Noble. Backs away.
Well, I thought Esiason had Collinsworth clean, and he waved him on because he saw Bill Johnson coming underneath, and Johnson looked totally unfamiliar with catching the football.
It was a strange pass rush. Charles Martin finally went on, but Noble was one of two Packers to just back off after they had him. All right, 3rd down and 10 at the Packer 48. Packer defense trying to hold, which they were unable to do in the 2nd quarter. 4 wide receivers in. The Bengals. James Brooks goes in motion. Esiason, they got him back on. He lost the ball. The Packers have it. They are not turnover free today. The Bengals are. The Packers with the turnover. Crowd finally with something to cheer about. Matt Court. And it will be Randy Wright at quarterback.
Now, Esiason's blind side is his right side because he's a left-hander. You don't want your quarterback to take a shot like this. Look, he's looking this way. Can't see what's coming on the backside. Tim Lewis, number 97, Tim Harris causes the fumble, and Matt Court makes the recovery.
And the rain coming out a bit harder. 1st down for the Packers at the Cincinnati 42. Wright is the quarterback and complete to Philip Epps down to the 26. The crowd booed when they saw that it was Wright at quarterback, but they cheered after that fine pass play. The first reception for Epps this afternoon. 16 yards. Don't you love people who pay good money to sit inside paper bags? First down at the Cincinnati 26. Fumble recovery, pass completion, the Packers are in business. Caruth and Ellerson, again the running backs to start the 2nd half. This is Ellerson. Has some daylight, picks up 4 or 5. Ellerson had those 2 big pass receptions in the successful drive in the 1st quarter. Hasn't done much since. Fulcher in on the tackle.
Well, in all honesty, the Packers just didn't have good field position, Lynn, in that 2nd quarter. They were constantly backed up into their own end of the field against their goal line and weren't able to exercise the complete offensive repertoire that they might have. This is a little different situation here. They've got a lot of options here.
2nd and 6 at the 22. Epps and Lofton are split out. Up the middle goes Ellerson inside the 20 to the 19, which would set up a 3rd and 3.
If the Green Bay Packers have an opportunity to come back, the rain falling actually helps them. It makes pass rushing that much more difficult. You can't get off your stance in a hurry, and it makes it easier with the liberalization of pass blocking rules for that offensive line to protect him, and they should have some fun. Now, if they can come back, remains to be seen, but this should help them.
4 wide receivers now in for the Packers. Stanley and Eddie Lee Ivory complement Epps and Lofton. 3rd and 3 at the 19, the shotgun formation. Wright completes it. 1st down to Lofton at the 13. And suddenly the Green Bay offense looks smart. Just like that. What a difference a halftime speech makes, huh?
Well, you get to a point where you've got nothing to lose either. And here's Randy Wright going once again to the left side, and number 80, James Lofton, not a bad player to throw the football to.
1st down for Green Bay at the Cincinnati 13. Lofton to the near side, Epps to the far side. This is Ellerson inside the 10. Ellerson fights to the 4, a pickup of 9. Strong run for Gary Ellerson, the Badger, in his 2nd year.
I can recall many halftime speeches from Forrest Gregg when I was a player under him at Cleveland. Ellerson is down. He seems to be one of the more productive players out there today. They can't afford to lose him. But those halftime speeches of Forrest Gregg had a way of getting you up and getting you on, because you knew that if he caught you dragging or caught you giving it less than your best, you may be gone.
So while they tend to Gary Ellerson, we will take a timeout in Milwaukee. It's 27-7 Cincinnati.
Lately, by RCA, technology that excites the senses. And by your Blue Cross and Blue Shield plan, who reminds you to carry the caring card.
And as the rain continues to fall, which is nothing new for the hardy people of Milwaukee, who have been inundated, as many other places have in the Midwest and West. Second down and 1 at the 4-yard line. Lofted in motion. And Wright falls down and throws it up in the air. Unbelievable. And it was nearly a touchdown to Dan Ross. I've never seen that. On his back, he threw it up blindly and nearly threw a touchdown.
This is improvisational madness. Watch Randy Wright falling on his back.
Well, he was open, wasn't he, Reg?
Well, he hasn't had anybody open much today anyway, so he has decided to just unload, come back and throw it again on 3rd down.
Too bad he didn't complete that one just for all those newscasts around America tonight. I thought that would have been something to behold. 3rd and 1 at the 4. Look at this formation split wide open.
They're trying to get a linebacker in a mismatch.
Ellerson close to a 1st down. Remember in the 1st quarter they went for it on 4th down and they were successful. Here we will have timeout for an official measurement. We have 8 minutes and 26 seconds remaining in the rainy 3rd quarter at Milwaukee's County Stadium. Cincinnati continues to lead 27-7. First down. So the Pack keeps the drive alive. First and goal now at the 3. They go with a 2 tight end alignment as Ed West is in to complement Dan Ross.
You take that long in a huddle, you're usually trying to point different things out in a passing game with people. Let's see.
Actually 3 tight ends now, Reggie, as Mark Lewis is in his way. Fake to Ellerson, right, passes off to Caruth, touchdown. The first NFL touchdown for a cousin of Hall of Fame baseball player Mel Ott. Paul Ott Caruth. It is now 27-13.
No, then when you take a lot of time in a huddle like that, you're usually telling some specific player, now be sure to delay, go 1001, because this is what you call a hide play. The receiver has to just hang in there and delay and delay and delay, because if he leaves too soon, he gives the play away. Excellently executed by Paul Ott Caruth and Randy Wright.
Don Bracken holds. Al Del Greco adds the point. So the Packers with their 2nd successful drive of the afternoon. 8 minutes and 5 seconds remain in the 3rd quarter. And now our score, Cincinnati 27. Packer fans hoping that that blocked extra point will turn out to be meaningful yet. Green Bay within 13 at 27-14. Al Del Greco getting ready to kick it away with a full 8 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. McGee at the 10. And McGee tripped up at the 28. As Packers were looking for a blocking above the waist call, which did not materialize. An 18-yard return for Tim McGee. So following the Matt Court fumble recovery, 8 plays, covered 42 yards in 3 minutes and 46 seconds, capped off on the 3-yard pass from Randy Wright to Paul Caruth. First down at the 34 now for Cincinnati. Make it the 29. James Brooks, he's been forced to do it. A hit to the 32. Randy Scott making the tackle for the Packers.
One way the Packers can get back into the football game, of course, is by making turnovers happen in this end of the field. They did it the last time out. Let's see if they're looking for the football by stripping, fumbles, or any means in which to turn that football over, to shorten the field, reduce the distance they have to go, gives them an opportunity to get back into the game.
2nd and 7 at the 32. Johnson allows perhaps to the 35. This will be that third down and middle distance now for the Green Bay defense.
No huddle.
Huddle 3rd and 4.5. Ball spot at the 35. They need the 39 for a first down. And a long count, so Green Bay unable to change any defensive players. Still 10 seconds to go on the 30-second clock. Esiason with plenty of time and completes it on the far side for a first down to Eddie Brown at the 44. So while we have a moment here in Milwaukee, let's switch to Bob Costas in NFL 86.
All right, Len, they're in the fourth quarter now in Pittsburgh. Steelers lead the Browns 21-20 because of this 6-yard pass from Mark Malone to Lewis Lips. The touchdown set up when Gerald McNeil of the Browns, who earlier had run a kickoff back 100 yards for a touchdown, fumbled a punt, and the Steelers recovered.
Will Pittsburgh ever lose at home to the Browns?
I lost 8 games there that I was involved with, so all kinds of things happened there.
Brooks scatters to the outside across midfield. Brooks down to the 47. Mark Lee finally dragged him down. Not before he is very close to another first down. James Brooks a force this afternoon.
What a luxury to have a big, strong offensive line that blocks as well as this one does. And then a little back like James Brooks, who you can spring into the open field. First of all, it's hard to even find him at 5'10" or so behind people that are 6'6", 300 pounds. He's into the secondary before you can even locate him. 12 rushes, 78 yards for James Brooks.
6th year now out of Auburn. First down at the Packer 47. Draw play. Stanford Jennings had fights for a couple of yards before the Packers finally bring him down. Look at this note, Reggie. New England has now gone ahead of Miami 34-0. Steve Grogan has had to replace Tony Eason because of bruised ribs. Eason is out for the game. They've got Grogan as the backup. It's hard to last the season and starting quarterback in the NFL. So perhaps a pickup of a yard on the play. So call it 2nd and 9 at the 49. Brooks again, and Brooks is stopped for a loss. Randy Scott again, and Esiason doesn't want to huddle. He hurries up to the line of scrimmage, and this will be 3rd down. Again, the no huddle on a 3rd and long. 3rd and close to 10 now.
Which means that Green Bay isn't going to get a very good pass rush, and Esiason is going to have a good time of it standing back there looking for someone to throw to.
Continues to fall. 4:35 remaining in the 3rd quarter. No huddle, but they take plenty of time at the line of scrimmage to get the play on. 30-second clock down to 4 seconds. Down to 1. Barely got the play on. Esiason faking, throwing on the far side, complete to James Brooks, but he is short of a first down. John L. Sullivan covering. And this will be 4th and 2. And we'll see what Sam White chooses to do. Perhaps this is the time for a fake punt, Reggie.
Esiason wanted Eddie Brown, but Mark Lee covered Brown very well, and Brown slipped. Meanwhile, Brooks didn't get enough yardage for the first down. Speaking of that maybe trick play, let's take a look at this.
This would be the time of game and part of the field where you might want to fake one, but they don't. He kicks it away. Hayes goes for the near side, and he does not get it, but the ball stays out of the end zone and is down by the Bengals on the 1. What a bounce that was. When things are going right, they're going right. That ball took a right-hand turn for Jeff Hayden. Rainy Milwaukee as they protect the ball. I almost feel like going into a Ray Scott impersonation. This is the time of Packer football. The rain coming down, starting from the shadow of your goalpost, trailing by 13 in front of the home crowd, starting in the mud. And listen to Ray Scott on radio. No, too bad. All right, first down for Green Bay. 4 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the 3rd. stacked up. Pushed back into his end zone, but he was out first, so it will not be a safety. Eddie Edwards, one of the Bengals, doing the pushing. And an opportunity to check out our 10-minute ticker. Miami has finally scored.
Oh, look at that game.
And the Raiders, Napoleon McCallum, the naval ensign, has scored his first NFL touchdown in Kansas City. Chicago continues to shut out Minnesota. Giants over winless St. Louis. And undefeated Atlanta is being shut out by Philadelphia. They've turned it around the last 2 years. And Cleveland just can't win at Three River Stadium.
It's not over yet.
Not over yet. 2nd and 10 at the 2. And Davis bangs it out to the 5. Yeah, I don't think the crowd should really boo here. I mean, what else would you do? I think this is the smart way to play football at this point.
Well, I disagree. Maybe the other side of that, when you're down here on the 1 and the 2 yard line, one thing that you can expect is man-to-man coverage in the defensive secondary, so you know where you can throw the football. It's Virgil Knight, strength and conditioning coach, with the light jacket on.
You're saying do a half gainer. I'm not sure what that motion was.
To get back to that thought, and then now Green Bay has to throw the football, and they may not get that man-to-man situation or matchup that they were looking for.
3rd and 7 from the 5, and a flag is thrown. They took too much time, and now they'll be pushed back half the distance.
Well, Lofton was trying frantically for a timeout. He recognized that they weren't going to get the play off in time, and another mistake.
But again, to follow up and play devil's advocate to you doing the same to me, you make one mistake here on an interception, and the game, which does have some hope.
Green Bay, their first timeout.
Now, did they get timeout before the flag went down or not? Our technicians has the only dry seat in the house. Not much of a view, but you don't have to worry about the weather. We have a dry seat too. Happy to be with you. Len Berman with Reggie Rucker. We were talking about should they have thrown on 2nd down. They have a glimmer of hope of winning the game. They're down by 13, and one big mistake, and it certainly lights out for the team. And you say go ahead and throw on 2nd down.
I say Green Bay hasn't done anything up to this point to convince me that they can beat the Cincinnati Bengals conventionally. They've got to gamble. They've got to take some chances. And when you know that you have a specific coverage and you can get a player like an Epps or a Lofton on a one-on-one, take it.
But if the defense is thinking the same thing, you give it to your fullback and he roars for first downs.
But if
no, I know. That's what's so much fun about sports. 3rd and 7 at the 5. Needless to say, a very important play here for the Pack. Back into his own end zone. Throws out of there. Completes it for a first down to Eddie Lee Ivory. Covering. How's that for a comeback from the injured list? He's had knee troubles over the years, was out with a neck injury from preseason, makes his return today. A critical first down for the Packers.
Good presence in the pocket by Randy Wright. He was not disturbed that time. Threw a good strike out to the sidelines. Eddie Lee Ivory, good pass receiver. He picked up enough yardage for the first down. Good play by both men.
I wonder if the Bengals are starting to think they've got a football game on their hands. 2:32 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Their lead is just 13. First down at the 16 now for the Packers. Complete to Lofton. And he nearly could have broken it. Lewis Billups had him by the legs. He nearly had it for a touchdown.
Why did he stop? Watch Lofton. One-on-one coverage now. If he takes this ball on the move, goodbye, because you won't catch Lofton. See that now? He stopped.
Well, he saw him there, and he thought he could cut back the other way. That's why he stopped. But you're the wide receiver. I'll let you explain.
With Lofton's speed and his confidence and catching that ball on the move and running, I say go for it.
All right, James, you heard the man. 1st and 10 at the 35. Inside of 2 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Packers now moving the ball. Backfield to Ellerson. He has room. First down at midfield and into Cincinnati territory goes Gary Ellerson before Ross Browner finally drags him down. So check the points going on the board elsewhere. The Packers moving the ball effectively now, Reggie. Just across midfield. 1st and 10. We'll call it the Cincinnati 49. How's that for a critical third down. He hits Eddie Lee Ivory, hits Lofton, Ellerson, just like that.
Sooner or later, he's going to get the big one to either Epps or Lofton. I feel it.
Right, maybe here. First down and 10 at the 49. Ellerson on the carry. Heads to the outside. Ellerson butts heads down to the 44. Tough runner at 5'11", 219. David Fulcher is the man he collided with.
Good play call that time by the Green Bay Packers. They caught the Cincinnati Bengals in a zone coverage. The Bengals were moving people away from the line of scrimmage. There was no one there to contain Ellerson.
33 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Green Bay won the first quarter. Cincinnati won the second quarter big, and this quarter belongs to the Packers. Back and forth we go. 2nd and 5 at the 44. And he had a first down before he was driven back. So another first down for the Packers. Breeden covering Lofton.
Lofton's closing in on Don Hudson's record.
He's got 4. One more ties the record as the gun sounds, ending the third quarter. And now the crowd has started to cheer. They've taken off the paper bags. That's the end of 3. Cincinnati 27, Green Bay 14. 188 catches between 1935 and 1945. James Lofton, 1 less than that. About to tie the record. And more important for the Packers is how they've been able to turn things around here through 3 quarters as we start the 4th. Remember, this drive began 9 plays ago on their own 2-yard line. This is first down at the Cincinnati 38. Oh, look out. Fumble recovered by Cincinnati. He had Epps open, didn't want to throw because he saw the defender standing with Epps. It was Lewis Breeden, decided to keep the ball, was hit by Ross Browner, fumbled it, and Eddie Edwards recovered it. Big, big play.
Certainly not the situation where you want to take a sack or put yourself in a position as Wright did here with Ross Browner coming in from the blind side to get a turnover. And one thing the Green Bay Packers cannot afford to do with their dearth of talent and scoring ability is give up the football. And they just did it.
So Eddie Edwards with the fumble recovery from midfield on first down. James Brooks hits down to the Green Bay 45 before Randy Scott, who's having a fine game, tackled him. But I can see that play develop, Richie. He had Epps open, but he saw the defender right there, so he didn't want to throw the pass in the flat. He went back and hit from the blind side, and lights were out.
Just inexperience by Randy Wright's part, because that's a 3-step drop play. You know you don't have a lot of time, so if it's not there, throw the football away. There's a turnover ratio, which is very important in today's style of play. Green Bay at the very bottom with a -7. They just turned the football over there again. They're 0-4. You can't win if you turn it over.
2nd and 5 at the 45. Esiason throwing for Collinsworth and overthrows him at the 20. So each team has fumbled once. We've had no interceptions.
I like to go back to that turnover ratio because it seems to point out what goes on today in pro football. You saw how well Chicago is playing in their turnover ratio, one of the best in the league, and it seems like the teams with the negative turnover ratios are always the poorest football teams in the league. What it says is that you don't take care of the football yourself on offense, and you don't get it back on defense. Eddie Brown is confused now.
Esiason changing the play on 3rd and 5 at the Green Bay 45. And we had motion, and both sides point to the other end.
This play just didn't look good from the start. No one seemed to know what they were doing. Right, left side of the screen there, that's number 74,
Yeah.
Brian Blados, who's playing an outstanding football game. You have to stay error-free.
False start. Offense. Number 74. Third down.
So this will back it up to 3rd and 5 at midfield. Opening minute of the 4th quarter. Cincinnati getting the turnover with a 13-point lead. They face an important 3rd down here themselves. They have 3 wide receivers, and James Brooks flanked out as a wide receiver as well to the near side.
Packers need pressure here, desperately on the pocket.
Hand off to Stanford Jennings. terrific play call
Good
and
run.
fights near to a first down. And we'll see where they mark the ball, but he got down close to the 40. And Chicago starting to expand that lead over Minnesota. It's 20-0 now there. No big changes on that panel. There will be an official's timeout. Look at this. Cleveland has taken the lead. That was an Ernest Biner 4-yard run with 8.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. So Cleveland finally leads in Pittsburgh, but will it hold?
Lynn, there's nothing more revolting for a defensive team to have a team 3rd and 10 and let them run and pick up a first down. My.
With 4 wide receivers flanked out, the inside handoff to Stanton Jennings. Sam White sends Rodney Holman in with the play. This will be first down for Cincinnati at the Green Bay 40 rather.
That very well could have been one of the key plays in the ball game right there.
The reverse. Eddie Brown. Esiason's in front, no one to block, and finally they catch him from behind. And all of that picked up perhaps a yard. Ryan Noble. Had that niche, and now things break out on the far side. Collinsworth's in the middle of it. Perhaps Tom Flynn for Green Bay.
It all began because of the block that Esiason threw downfield. There's nothing in the record books or the rule books that I know of that says the quarterback can't throw a block. And Noble just didn't like the fact that Esiason threw an outstanding block on him. If you don't want to be blocked, get off the field.
And that play picked up a yard on the Eddie Brown reverse. Sam White thought he would use a lot more reverses with slippery footing, but the reverses and the string out plays aren't working as well as those inside passes, the shovel passes, inside handoffs. Those seem to be the plays that are working.
Yes. You don't like to handle the ball too much on a day like this.
2nd and 9 at the 39. No interceptions, the key statistic there for size. 4 last week. Flag goes down. James Brooks heads to the outside and very close to a first down, and I believe he has a first down, but we'll have to check out the infraction. Randy Scott and Bobby Leopold coming up to force him out of bounds. Offside, Green Bay. Clock is stopped with 13 minutes and 25 seconds, and suddenly County Stadium has gotten very quiet again. He won't be quiet. That's 13-25.
Offside. Defense. Number 22. Penalty decline. First down.
So Mark Lee was the man who was offside. First down now at the Green Bay 30. It is 27-14 Cincinnati.
That's a very young football team that Forrest Gregg has. They average 3.1 years of experience, and you would expect them to be offsides and miss assignments because that's what young players do.
They keep it conservative. Johnson. Good running room. Clearly down to the 22 before Alfonso Carricker. Chubbs, they call him, made the tackle.
Carricker made the tackle.
Bill Johnson went through 6 weeks of police academy training, actually graduated from the course before he went to the USFL for a couple of years. Signed, of course, last year with the Cincinnati Bengals. Very impressive. Now he is the backup fullback to Larry Kennebrew and playing very well today.
Kennebrew again out with the ankle injury, and Johnson has played well in this play. 2nd and 2 at the 22 as Eddie Brown goes in motion. James Brooks. First down. Brooks fights to the 15. What a ball game James Brooks has had this afternoon. John Dorsey finally made the tackle.
I don't think the linebackers can find Brooks. Watch this. Brooks now disappears amongst that mass of humanity that is the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line, and then the next thing you know, push, he's right into your face, and he picks up 5, 6, 7 yards. just on the blocks of the offensive lineman. And you know, once you spring him, he's dangerous on his own.
A 100-yard afternoon for James Brooks. He's also scored 2 touchdowns and caught that pretty shovel pass in the first half as well. Goes down at the 15. Johnson, no gain. Brooks has a pretty decent shot at game MVP if things hold up here, I would say. Robert Brown in on the tackle. Clock continues to run inside of 12 minutes remaining now in the fourth quarter. Cincinnati scored all 27 of its points in the second quarter. Green Bay with 7 in the first, 7 in the third. Robert Brown, right end, VPI. His 5th year.
Speaking of James Brooks, you'll recall that he came to the Cincinnati Bengals a couple of years ago in a trade, former first-round draft choice of the San Diego Chargers, for none other than Pete Johnson.
That's right. Little guy for a big guy. It's a funny trade. Eddie Brown.
Good
Touchdown,
play.
Bengals. 15 yards. Esiason to Brown.
Outstanding extra effort by Eddie Brown, exhibiting his trademark, which is the action begins after the catch. Here's Esiason tall in the pocket. Gets Brown right there. Now look at the running ability there. Had 2 Packers draped around him, and yet got his 185-pound body into the end zone for his first touchdown of the day.
And the 3rd touchdown pass from Boomer Esiason to go to the 2 that James Brooks has rushing. And it's 33-14 Bengals, and as Ken Anderson will hold for Jim Breach, they will try to extend it to 34. And Breach nails it. So the Randy Wright fumble recovered by Eddie Edwards sets up the 15-yard touchdown pass from Boomer Esiason to Eddie.
Today's game is brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks. The more you look, the more you like Mazda value. By Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by the U.S. Army, a place to be all you can be.
So Packer fans enduring the rain and a 20-point deficit with 11 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Jim Breach will tee it up and kick it away to Green Bay, which that fumble really hurt them on the last series. They had a chance to move in and crawl within 6. Turns around, and instead Cincinnati goes up by 20. Big turnaround right there, completed by a 15-yard touchdown pass. Esiason to Eddie Brown.
That's the strength, of course, Len, as you know, of the Cincinnati offense. Diversification of receivers. They throw to a number of people. They've probably hit about 6 or 7 people already today. Different receivers.
Ken Stills, a defensive back at the 9. Holds the ball dangerously in one hand, but busts it out across the 30, and then a flag is thrown in on late in the play. Holding Packers.
What's that saying? When it rains, it pours.
Well, it's doing it at Cali Stadium.
Stop right there. Holding on the return, number 54, first down.
Jeff Shue, the former Bengal. And Chicago, 58-yard pass play. Jim McMahon and Keith Ortego. That's why they're up 20-0. This will be first down for the Packers as they start at their 21. Cleveland continues to lead. Ellerson in motion. Looking for Lofton. Bounced off his chest, intercepted, and a flag is thrown. Carl Zander picked it off on the deflection.
They may get Lewis Billups for interference here. He looked like he played right through Lofton's.
Pass interference against the Bengals. That takes away Zander's second interception of the year. Lewis Billups, the rookie second-round draft choice from Northern Alabama.
Billups had outstanding coverage on Lofton. Lofton had to slow down a little bit. It wasn't a very good pass by Randy Wright.
Pass interference, defense, first down.
Now, that type of pass you want thrown out in front of the receiver so he can run to it. You could see the left arm of Billups draped around Lofton's back while the right arm deflected the pass. That's a pass interference call. You cannot play through the receiver to the ball.
So first down for Green Bay at their 37.
They've got Billups all alone on Lofton.
Right, going for Lofton.
Great.
Gets
feet.
Both feet down to tie Don Hutson's all-time Packer record. And what a maneuver by Lofton to accomplish the tie right there.
This matchup won't work for Cincinnati. They'll let them get back into the game right in a hurry. Watch Billups. Watch the great move now. Stop. Billups thinks he's going deep. Lofton, watch both feet. 1, 2. Excellent camera work. Good catch, James Lofton. He ties Don Hutson's record, 488 receptions. A marvelous athlete James Lofton has been since he was drafted #1 out of Stanford.
First down at the 47. Packers are in Cincinnati territory thanks to that Lofton catch. Wright going deep on the far side for Epps. And Breeden came back in to nearly pick it off. Incomplete goes the pass on the far side. Breeden covering a speedy Philip Epps.
Speedy is the right word. This guy is faster than fast.
Breeden
Gets
nearly
behind.
got it there, Rich.
Yeah. Louis Breeden is an outstanding one-on-one coverer in the open field. He's as good as that, as anybody in professional football. The Cincinnati corners have great ability. They just don't get the kind of pass rush that maybe the Raiders or the Bears get. 2nd and 10
at the 47. Neither quarterback has thrown an interception. Last one was negated by a penalty. Right, looking for Ellerson. That one is picked off by Barney Bussey. His first professional touchdown in the NFL. And Bussey brings it back to the 40.
I don't believe Randy Wright even believed Ellison could make that catch. He threw this ball up and away. He's being queried about why he threw the ball right now. Watch lower left-hand corner of your screen. Does this man look like he's open? He's covered as well as you can cover anybody. Randy Wright should not have thrown the football there. Now Bussey's saying, get out of my way, man. Let me run.
Right. Bussey played in the USFL out of South Carolina State. Has himself an NFL interception now in Cincinnati with the ball at their 39. We still have 10 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the game. Cincinnati already leads by 20. Hand off to Brooks. Heads to the outside. This time he is dragged down by the shirt tails by John L. Sullivan, the rookie from California, Berkeley.
Sullivan made the tackle.
And a few words between Sullivan and Brooks.
If you think James Brooks is intimidated by a few words, you're mistaken. At his size and the kind of load that he carries, you know he's a tough hombre.
Loss of 3 will be 2nd and 13. Back to the 36. And do you think Forrest Gregg will stay with Chuck Fusina? No, you won't go to him, huh?
Well, I'd get him in the game. I want to take a look at what he can do. Certainly got nothing to lose.
Brooks goes to the far side. And he's tripped up again for another loss. Back to the 35 for a loss of 1. So Brooks is moving backwards, although time is running off the clock down to 9:30.
That's the key. That's why they're running the sweeps. Sweeps take longer to run than any other play. By the time the players get back to the huddle, you've run off another 25, 30 seconds, and that's what Easton is doing now. He's attacking the clock.
Some of the fans are heading out. 9:15 remaining. This is a third, about 14.
I think he'll keep it on the ground.
From the 35. Just as you said it, Reg. And there's a sack. Alfonso Carricker. The last one that he had early in the game was called back by a holding penalty. Not this time. Carricker gets his sack, his first.
I thought 3rd and long like this, they would put it on the ground, eat up some more time on that clock, punt the ball and play defense, but Esiason got a little greedy there, and Carricker got the sack.
So Hayes will punt for only the 3rd time this afternoon. So the interception does not cost Green Bay. Walter Stanley is deep for Green Bay. Taking time off the 30-second clock. Hayes gets a pretty good punt away. Back at the 39, Walter Stanley. Stanley to midfield. Stanley down the near side. And it was the punter who knocked him out of bounds.
Forrest Gregg a year ago said that Stanley would probably make a contribution because of his outstanding ability in the open field. He's an excellent punt runner, kickoff returner, and an exciting player. Once again, saved by the punter, Jeff Hayes. Stanley having an outstanding year in all aspects.
And the Packers carrying on a love-hate relationship with their fans. Every time the fans start to boo, they pull out a big play, and now they're cheering again. First down and 10 at the Cincinnati 14. We still have 8:26 remaining. But Caruth goes nowhere, and Ross Browner, rodeo style, tackles him.
All you're doing right there is wasting time. Get back to the huddle, get the football down the field, conserve time on the clock. If you're interested in winning, you've got to throw the football.
No gain on the play. That was a 42-yard punt and a 50-yard return. Exciting play for Walter Stanley. Forrest Gregg ponders a 2nd and 10 at the 14. So you see the clock is now inside 8 minutes. Remember, it's dangerous to pass at the far side because the stands come right up to the end of the end zone. And Wright is sacked by Eddie Edwards. And now the cheers have turned to boos again.
Indecision once again. Randy Wright has to learn to get rid of the ball down here if you don't have anything. You cannot hold the football because you know that the pressure is going to get to you after a while.
Third Bengals sack on the afternoon. Pushed back to the 20-yard line. 3rd and 16. The clock still running with 7:20 remaining. Wright throws to nobody. Nobody was there, and it's intercepted, and the flag is thrown. Bobby Kemp with the pickoff. Bring back Lynn Dickey. I don't know about that one. They may go after Doug Flutie. Chuck Fusina is in uniform but hasn't played today.
The Cincinnati, that's Chuck Fusina.
Fusina.
Maybe they're telling him get ready because Randy Wright is down. He may be forced into action. And of course he's going to be cheered just simply because he comes into the football game.
And this interception may be negated by that flag. Let's try to pick up the call of our referee today, Dick Hantak.
Holding. Defense. Number 20. First down.
Ray Horton. So instead of an interception, the drive is kept alive. The penalty called on Ray Horton.
Let's see if we can find Ray Horton on the left side.
See if you can find a wide receiver.
Well, you can see the altercation occurring at about the 10-yard line. That is apparently where they caught Horton holding Epps.
Dan Ross it was, I believe. So it's first down at the 15. 7 minutes remaining. Green Bay needs 6.
Touchdown Lofton.
Over the middle. Lofton breaks the record on a touchdown. He's excited. For the all-time pass catcher in the long and glorious history of the Green Bay Packer franchise. Catch number 489 spells 6 points for James Lofton. Bracken will hold for Del Greco. It's good, and now with a full 7 minutes and 4 seconds remaining, Cincinnati's lead has been cut to 13. 34-21. James Lofton has a record. 9-year veteran from Stanford. And the Bengals have wide receivers and running backs up. They're expecting an onside kick from Del Greco here, Reggie. And he disappoints them. Squibb. And trouble hanging on. And finally fallen on Tim McGee as John Simmons had a lot of trouble with him. Lofton with his 6th catch, breaking Don Hudson's all-time career Packer reception record. James
Lofton, I call him a quintessential wide receiver because he does everything well in the passing game. He catches the ball in traffic. He's an extraordinary deep threat. He blocks. Just a complete football player. And he's certainly jubilant, and I think he should be. Isn't it amazing that Don Hudson's record has stood for 41 years?
1945. So, first down for Cincinnati at the 20. Packers need some defense inside of 7 minutes remaining. Bill Johnson with the carry, and they stop him after a 5-yard gain. Johnson is tough to bring down. Now some finals coming in. New England has beaten Miami. Raiders continue to lead Kansas City. Chicago has shut out Minnesota. Washington's won their game. Atlanta is being shut out. Cleveland continues to cling to life in Pittsburgh. And Detroit has defeated Houston. Now they're starting the late games around the NFL. No scores in Denver or the Meadowlands or in San Francisco or in Anaheim.
There's a player down on the field then.
It is Bill Johnson, the man who carried the last ball.
Larry Kennebrew is available if absolutely necessary. I think that he's going to come into the football game now.
Kennebrew comes on the field gingerly. Skies have started to clear a bit. We'll take a timeout. Cincinnati on top. Clear up, put on a happy face. Packer fans hoping that they can force something here defensively and get another shot. 6:43 remaining. They are within 13 points. And Larry Kennebrew, the big load, is checked in for the first time since the first quarter of the Chicago game. He's had an ankle injury.
I would not allow Kennebrew to handle the football. He's been sitting down all game long. He'd be rusty. They would be stripping and attacking the football. I would not put the ball in his hands. Give it to Brooks.
See how gingerly he is walking, Reggie. 2nd and 5 at the 25. They gave it to him. And he fights very close to a first down. Randy Scott on the tackle. So
that's having a lot of confidence in your fullback who's been sitting down for about 3 hours. Oh, about 260 pounds or more behind some big people up front. He just plows straight ahead. Really a prototype fullback for this offense, or any other offense for that matter. If you've got a guy that's his size and can run and do the things athletically that he can do.
3rd and 1 at the 30. Probably give it to him again. There he goes and stumbles forward for the first down. Congratulations to the Cleveland Browns for the first time in the history of Three River Stadium. After going 16-0 in Pittsburgh, the Cleveland Browns finally come away with a win, 27-24. So if the score holds here as well, Cleveland and Cincinnati would continue to be tied for first place, both at 3-2 in AFC Central.
And I hope you don't mind if I say finally. I mean, I was in that thing 9 times and never won.
Remember the game we did there last year when it was the crowd that caused a near turnover, Bernie Kosar. Crowd noise was so much for the Cleveland quarterback, and it was a big juncture of the game and may have helped Pittsburgh win that day, but not today. The Browns have done it. Inside of 5 minutes remaining here, first down for Cincinnati, and Kennebrew again. He's had a long rest, though he should be ready to go. Carricker on the stop with 4:45 remaining.
You know, you can expect the Central Division, I think, to go down to the very last day of the season. It's going to be win 1, lose 1, win 2, maybe lose 1. Cleveland and Cincinnati are that close in terms of ability and win-loss records for that matter at the end of the season. So it'll be interesting.
Now Kennebrew will watch. He's replaced in the backfield by Stanford Jennings. 2nd and 7 at the 34. Size at the throw. Completes it to Tim McGee. McGee fights for the first down yardage. Bobby Leopold finally brought him down. Good extra effort by McGee to garner the first down for the Bengals, and the clock continues to run inside of 4 minutes now.
What an imposing proposition for opposing defenses who already have to deal with Collinsworth, Brown, Brooks and company, now to have realized that now they're beginning to feature their #1 draft choice, Tim McGee, a little bit more in their offense. Just that much more versatility for the Cincinnati Bengals.
James Brooks had 100 yards. Well, when he ran those 2 sweeps and lost some yardage, he's now down to 96. So McGee goes in motion. Let's see if they give it to Brooks to get 100. Well, picks up a couple on that play, so he's probably up to about 98 yards now today. John Dorsey making the stop. And there's the AFC Central. If Cincinnati wins here, they in Cleveland will open up daylight on Houston and Pittsburgh. Well, Houston will be better than 1-4 at this point. Pittsburgh as well. Now down to 3 minutes and counting. Ball's at the 45. 2nd down and 8. Cincinnati would be content to just run it, keep it simple, let it go down to the 2-minute warning as quickly as possible. Brooks, he won't get to 100 yards on that play. Maybe lost the yard on that one. Carricker on the stop. 2:35 remaining. Still not over in Kansas City, but the Raiders lead by 7. Giants lead winless St. Louis. Cleveland wins in Pittsburgh, and in the late games, no scores yet on any of the late games. And Green Bay is taking 3rd down and 8 for Cincinnati. And incomplete, intended for Collinsworth on the far side with Mosi Cade covering. That play only took 4 seconds, so the clock is stopped with 2:23 left, and the punting unit comes on for Cincinnati. Very handsome fellows. They're pack sack.
Do you know what a 2-bagger is?
Right there. Yeah. A double. It's a double in baseball. Let's not get into that. Jeff Hayes to punt away. And punts it. Well, the ball stays inbounds, and it's down by the Bengals at the 21. So with 2 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter, the Packer offense comes on the field once again. Once again, it will be Randy Wright at quarterback. They're in the situation of looking for miracles. The ball is spotted at the 24. A big 27-point second quarter for the Bengals. 2 touchdown passes to Chris Collinsworth. 2 touchdown runs by James Brooks. And the strength of those 27 points, they have this 34-21 lead with 2:13 left for Randy Wright and the Packers.
This is build your stat time now. Bengals are going to be playing loose defense, and Packers need to throw the football.
Epps in motion. Looking for Lofton. He's got him. Billups falls down. Lofton trying to break free and gets all the way up to the 48. And that'll bring up the 2-minute warning. So a good gainer right to Lofton. 24-yard gain, and with 2 minutes remaining in regulation, we've reached the 2-minute warning. Cincinnati leads Green Bay 34-21.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes, 1985. Hard luck Tampa Bay fights back to take a 4th quarter 27-24 lead over the Rams on a perfect Steve DeBerg strike. Moments later, DeBerg throws another strike right down the middle, but to Ram cornerback Leroy Irvin, who weaves his way into the end zone. The Rams sink the Bucs 31-27.
Lucky County Stadium, where the sun is doing a cameo appearance finally in Beertown. We have 2 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Cincinnati holding on to the 34-21 lead over the Green Bay Packers, but Lofton setting the record and more today, picking up his 7th reception. Last one good for 24 yards out to the Packer 48. Next week, Cincinnati will host Pittsburgh in a Monday night game. And Green Bay will get to host Detroit back at Lambeau Field. This Green Green Bay got some touchdowns. They had only 2 touchdowns on the year coming into today's game and picked up 3 today. So they have to feel a little bit better about things, even if they lose their 5th straight. So the Packers trailing by 13, 2 minutes remaining at their 48. Randy Wright calling out signals. Usually to see who will be the quarterback next week. Wright to Phil Epps. Epps bounces off a tackler and heads to the outside. Epps could go all the way. What a run by Philip Epps, out of bounds at the 5. For an 0-4, perhaps 0-5 football team, they turn in some exciting plays.
You have to wonder about an offense that allows a Philip Epps to be on the football field, and you don't do these kinds of things to get the football in his hands. Here's the fastest player or the fastest receiver in pro football, and he hasn't touched the football until the waning minutes of the football game. I don't understand it.
Bounced off Ray Horton. Ball marked at the 5 with 1:48 to go. If the fans are leaving, I don't know why. Quick touchdown on an onside kick. Certainly within the realm of possibility. You're not looking at a major miracle here. You're looking at a possibility. Epps in motion. Right over the middle. Found Epps, but shy, and Wright says keep on going. No timeout taken. 1:35 to go.
All passes, Lynn, need to be thrown into the end zone at this point. You don't need to throw any of the delay kind of passes. Throw it into the end zone.
Looking for Lofton and overthrowing. And this will set up 3rd down from the 3. 1:26 to go.
Timeouts.
So Randy Wright looking over to the sideline for some guidance from Forrest Gregg. Play signaled into him. Ball at the 3-yard line.
Green Bay has 1 timeout remaining, so they won't want to expend it now.
And of course, we'll go for it if this play is unsuccessful.
Ellison would be my choice.
Ruth in motion. Wright rolls out, looking for Dan Ross, and he completed it, but short of the end zone. Yes, clock continues to run. 1:15 to go. It was completed to the former Bengal, Dan Ross, and now
Sure that he is in touchdown territory.
the sun breaks out with 1:12 to go. 4th and inches. Wright pleading for quiet. Ellerson. Second effort. Perhaps no signal from the official yet. Bengals thought they had him stopped. The Packers touchdown is the call.
My, oh my. What took him so long to make the call? And what a gamble by Forrest Gregg to run the football just then. It appeared that the Bengals were waiting for him.
And Sam Weitz wants his team to take a timeout. Perhaps he thinks that a replay would show otherwise and wants to take a timeout so the replay official can take a look at it.
Very good, Lynn. He told us he would do that if he had to.
Timeout. Cincinnati.
Of course, he doesn't need any more timeouts. So he's taking one. And of course, that will allow the people upstairs to take a look at this play again.
You know what he's signaling? He's signaling perhaps some of the Packers helped him in from behind, which would be illegal. He's definitely stopped on the first effort.
Bang. Good contact right there. Ellison is clearly stopped.
Ooh, number 65. Oh, who is that?
And you can see Ron Holstrom, number 65, aiding the
That's
runner,
right.
and that is illegal.
So Sam Weitz perhaps hoping that the replay official would think that that would be inconclusive and would buzz the men on the field and then tell them by walkie-talkie that they didn't like the call, and perhaps.
But the replay officials cannot make a call unless it's possession or touching. So this is out of the realm of what he is authorized to do. Good hit by Simpkins right there. Now watch the spinning. You'll see Ron Hallstrom, number 65, push the runner into the end zone. You cannot do that.
Tom Neville also helped. But I think that would be within the realm of the official because it deals with the goal line. Interesting. Replay official would have to think that's an inconclusive call.
What a heads-up coach Sam White is at times like that, though, because
that's why he took the timeout right here,
exactly.
So that the replay official could take a good hard look and discuss it if he thought there was something to indicate to the on-the-field officials.
You really have to have your head in the football game to make a call like that just in, as White's did, knowing full well what the rules are in regards to the use of the instant replay mechanism.
Officials are talking on the walkie-talkie. Forrest Gregg looking intently.
There was a game sometime back where William the Refrigerator Perry did that same thing with Walter Payton.
Picked up Walter Payton and said, hey, I was just helping my friend.
You cannot put your hands on the ball carrier if you are a blocker to aid him in his movement.
Walkie-talkie is being used, and the touchdown has been indicated that it will stand. We will listen to the official now. But Sam White was smart.
After further review by the instant replay, the play stands. Touchdown.
Well, the official replay, Paul Trapinski, thought it was either inconclusive or not within his realm of jurisdiction.
Remember, indisputable visual evidence is the guideline.
Sam White called the timeout to give him that opportunity. A smart coach is he. Now with 1 minute remaining, Del Greco's kick is good, and the Packers are within 6 points at 34-2.
They're coming this way, right at Collinsworth.
And it's fielded by the Bengals cleanly, and that should enable them to easily run out the clock and walk away with a tough victory. It was Stanford Jennings who fielded the ball cleanly. Now Esiason will come on the field. His only duty will be to kneel on the ball. Philadelphia has shut out undefeated Atlanta 16-0. The score there. What about the Green Bay quarterback situation for next week?
Well, Randy Wright has had some success. He threw the ball well in the second half. I think that Forrest Gregg will go with Wright again. If for no other reason, Len, than to allow Fusina to grasp this offense, get familiar with what the Green Bay Packers are trying to do, and just get his feet on the ground. There is Fusina.
So James Lofton sets the all-time Packer receiving record, his 489th catch, surpassing Don Hudson's record. But the Green Bay Packers will go 0-5, and for the first time in their long and glorious history, they are winless through 5 games. Just 27 seconds to go now. And that'll do it. They do not have to run off another play. So on the strength of 3 Boomer Esiason touchdown passes and 2 James Brooks touchdown runs, the coach who succeeded the other one, White and Gregg, shake hands. The Cincinnati Bengals stay tied for first place in the AFC Central with the Cleveland Browns at 3-2, and they see their 20-point